This is Trend Following Radio, where great thinking comes alive. Nobel Prize winners, legendary traders, best-selling authors, and the pros that know what drive us irrational human beings. I am your host, Michael Covel. Not filtered, raw, honest. That's my passion.
A great opening salvo that came across my X feed. Quoting, "People don't realize how many opportunities they miss because they were scared of opening up. No one wants to build with someone who is afraid of trusting. No one wants to support someone who obviously prefers to be alone. Stop overthinking. There are good people out there." Now, there's no doubt that that's true in terms of the social aspect. But my mind, my eyes, I see that quote and I start to think to myself, that sounds a little like trend following. People don't realize how many opportunities they miss because they were scared of opening up. Well, with trend following, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to be ready for the opportunities when they open up. Damn it, all of life is like this, right? Whether it's trading or social, there are no rules. You can meet anyone. Anything can happen. Do you believe that? Has it happened for you? I mean, I met the founder of Apple Computer, co-founder Steve Wozniak, in Saigon's airport in the business lounge. I could go on and on and on. The examples, and I'm not just talking about a crazy little example like that, but my business partners, my friends, people that I've become close to. Much of life is so random. But if you are open to the opportunity, well, typically, often, opportunity walks right in the door if you're standing there ready to accept it. So I love those quotations that take in the social that we're all living, and then you can kind of look at it from a trend following perspective too, even a trading perspective. But most people don't look at their life this way. They really don't. But you should, because it doesn't make a difference what city you're in right now. You could get on a plane, go to whatever other city that you've never been to, could be in a completely different country. And if you are open, you will meet your best friend, you'll meet your business partner, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, quickly. This is how life works, if you're ready for the opportunity. I thought that was a great place to start today, because now I want to take it to something a little controversial. Not really, but just a little. So I posted Paul Mulvaney's track record, Mulvaney Capital. I posted it on my X feed, 1999 to 2024. And I captioned the performance table as this: trend following track records are filled with so much education. College professors should walk in with just this, then discuss, investigate, and reverse engineer. The best semester class ever. Now, this is a performance table of a long-term trend following trader trading diverse markets for over 2 decades. Every one of the major liquid markets you can imagine, he's trading. So if there's been big trends, he's participated. Now, he's not alone. There's plenty of other traders that have done this. I just give Paul props for putting it all out there for people to see. Other companies do it. Again, like I said, Down Capital does this. There's many companies that do it. Many trend following firms. All across Europe, for example, it's easy to find performance track records. But it's really easy to find Paul's. And it's very instructive because it's volatile. It's up and down. Now, it's more up in the long run, a lot more up in the long run than down. And it's just an amazing teaching device. Because imagine if you know nothing about trend following and someone throws on your table a performance track record of approximately 25 years. So you can see the month-by-month performance data. Now what? How did that happen? Can you reverse engineer it? Can you do a pretty good approximation of how this performance table came to be? If not, why? Okay, if you have an idea of which direction to go down, now you're off to the races. But this is a big project. Like I said, a semester class, a fantastic class. And let's face it, not many people know how a trend following track record of 25 years came to be. They can't imagine every year, every month, what small losses occurred and what was the big gain that helped to produce perhaps a positive monthly return. Or maybe there wasn't any big trend to make a positive monthly return. It was a negative return for the month. Now, all of this is self-evident in Paul's track record. You can see it. So I don't think this is that controversial, really. And one person posted and said, more interesting to me is that in 2000 to 2001, where he closed up shop completely for 7 months, and if there's a story or lesson there. Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at his track record early on. There's a 7-month window where he closed up shop over 22 years ago. Is that relevant to me? Not really. There's a 22-year track record after it. So you can imagine all kinds of possibilities as to why a new company with very little money under management, just starting out, you can imagine all the operational issues that could possibly take place. But is it relevant after a continuous track record of almost 22 years following that 7-month break? Now, to me, it's not. It's not relevant at all. Or you could say, well, it's relevant on down the line, which is kind of what I said. Because when this individual said that is more interesting to him, the 7-month window where there was no trading, I said, that's the least interesting aspect to me, and it's not even close. Of course, here's how these things work online. He replied to me, as someone who already fully understands and believes in trend following completely, I don't need the validation or dreams of riches and survivorship of a track record. It's fun, it's interesting, but I get nothing more from it anymore. Well, that's some passive aggressive shit. Like, I don't care about that view at all. It's just a negative view. Because remember how I started this. Here's this track record. It's an amazing track record. We could take this into the college classrooms and have an amazing discussion. So somebody posting something angry about that, well, we already know what path we're going to go down, and I typically don't play along with these paths, but I did to see where it might go. I replied, that track record has far more educational usefulness to it than fun or interesting or saying he's a survivor, which is what this individual said. Paul Mulvaney's track record is fun. It's interesting. He's a survivor. Basically, he got lucky. Well, guess what? If you're alive right now, you're fucking lucky. Yeah, that's how it works. There's always some luck. However, if you had to play the simulation game over to randomly produce Paul Mulvaney's track record, yeah, how many tries you got to do that? Go look at that track record and you tell me if it's random, if it's just the lucky monkey survivor. And this individual replied, in your opinion, and for a new person unexposed and unaware of the methods and approach, maybe. The first objective, survive. The second, try to kick as much ass as possible, returns. He said he has done both, and he displays you can still be a high volatility, aggressive manager. Of course, I wanted to keep playing along because I want to find out how people think. That's what this podcast is about. That's what my books are about. Thinking. So I replied, what percentage of the population get that table came to exist exactly, ? Trade by trade, year by year? Far less than 1%. That's why it's useful. I don't care that you or assorted market wizards get it. I care to share with most everyone else who doesn't know. My partner in crime here, trading barbs with me, replied, so brazen how easily you dismiss an endeavor that you know nothing about. If you knew why he wasn't active during that period, that would be one thing. For all we know, that's the 7-month dead period that fostered the man, fund, and history we have. Keep your curiosity. It's your job. You gotta love that one, right? Telling me that I have a job. Motherfucker, I don't have a fucking job. I do what I do. People like it or they don't like it. But I just keep doing what I do. That's the way it is. And I replied back to the job line. I said, look, if that particular performance window of his inspires you, you think that's the gold to go dig for, go for it. Do something. And isn't that the ultimate way to look at these kinds of things? You don't have to like me, but you're going to respect me. You know why? Because I do the work. You can read the 8 books. You can listen to the 1,200 podcast episodes. What's a lot more than 1,200 now? You can read the 5,000 plus blog entries. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of thought, a lot of effort. Take it or leave it, but you're going to respect it because it's extremely well thought out. It's extremely well sourced. And I've made sure to dig very fucking deep for a very long time. So if somebody sees something in my work that they think I'm missing, well, damn straight, I miss things all the time. Hell, I'm human. But when it comes to something simple, like looking at a performance track record of Paul Mulvaney's that extends for 25 years, and if your fixation is on the 7-month window early in his company where he was clearly starting out, if your fixation is there and not the subsequent 22-year uninterrupted track record, well, I win. I win the debate because you're focused on something that's not important. And I'm not talking about this individual. I really don't care. I'm talking about, like I've said in this conversation so far, thinking, clear thinking. And if you don't like my clear thinking, then guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon offers you the opportunity to go write a book. Apple offers you the opportunity to go do a podcast. Well, push up to the table, my friend. It's time to get started. Let's see your effort. Let's see your work. Let's see if you really understand what is the most important thing about a track record, especially a long trend following track record. Now, as a side note, somebody else replied to my original post with a track record, and they said, wait until you see February. I guess they meant the February 2024 performance. And I replied, not knowing the February 2024 performance yet, I replied, I guess if February is up 99% or down 99%, that's interesting. Otherwise, given that complete table, I can't imagine why February is important. Well, I might have to eat a little crow there, but I was circumspect because I said, hey, it could be a big month or a down month. This person seemed to be knowing something more than I knew. And someone texted me to tell me that with a couple days left in the month, Mulvaney Capital is set to have their best monthly performance number ever. Now, look, in the world of high volatility trend following trading, performance can change fast. So it will be interesting to see if the performance number for the month of February sticks. But if it does, congratulations, because it's a huge damn number for 1 month. I think the bigger picture that people don't realize when I talk about particular traders, yes, some people I know, some people I've interviewed, some people I'm friends with or have become friends with. But it's not about that. That's why I love doing my book, Trend Following. My book, Trend Following, the newest edition, all 220,000 words of it, is a deep dive across the entire industry going back centuries. No one lives forever. Players come and go. Even long track records eventually stop. But my God, is there something useful to be gleaned from taking a total, complete view at it all. And I love it. So if you don't like something I do, I don't care. Do it better. Make me look like shit. And I really wasn't picking on the guy that was replying to me in X. He obviously had something stuck up his ass and he wanted to make some point and he thought he was right. Great, whatever. I don't give a shit. I just find the back and forth instructive. I think other people find the back and forth instructive too. Why? Again, drum roll please. It's about thinking. We want to find good thinking. I think that's why I do interviews on this podcast. I will not begin to say that after 10 plus years that all of my interviews are great. They're not. Now, I like to think I'm consistent. Maybe I'm not, but I like to think that I am. Sometimes the connections are not consistent. Sometimes the guest is on a shitty microphone. Or back in the day, I'd have to call some random Nobel Prize winner from Skype to their cell phone or landline at midnight or something with pixelated sound. We'd have to stitch together and figure out how to make it sound right. But I like interviewing people because I really don't know if I interview people. I have conversations. Interviews kind of suck in a way. You want to have conversations. The host has to know something. The host has to have some experience. And then you end up with something nice, a good back and forth. Someone told me about the Lex Friedman interview of Tucker Carlson. I watched the first 50 minutes. I think Tucker talked for 49 minutes. Now, I like Tucker. I like his point of view. But Lex should not let him talk for 49 of 50 minutes. That's not a good conversation. And guess what? I'm not criticizing Lex or Tucker because I get the whole problem that can happen with these conversations. I've had filibusters before. I think I've said this on the podcast many times. Vernon Smith, a Nobel Prize winner. Before he was on this podcast, I asked my first question of him in person, under the lights, filming it. My first question, he took, I think, 35 minutes to answer. What the hell? Now, I love the fact that Vernon Smith, this very accomplished guy, gave me some time, but damn it, Vernon, that's too long. That's not a conversation. But I got to say, it's harder and harder to find good conversations today because I'm pitched a ton of guests, but I turn down like 90%. Now, in many instances, I find my own guest. I just reach out to someone, drop them an email, and I say, hey, can I talk to you? Can I interview you? Can I have a conversation with you? But I get pitched a lot. And these days, it's just tough. I'd say 50% of the pitches are DEI. Some kind of diversity pitch. Like, what the hell am I going to talk about? Oh, you're a different color. Oh, you're a different sex. Oh, you have some other something. Why do I care? This podcast is about thinking. It's not about what fucking color you are. Can you imagine having a conversation with somebody about their color? How long is the conversation? A second? It's mindless. Or their sex. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I wrote a book because I'm a man. I wrote a book because I'm a woman. What the fuck? Come on. It's a challenge now with podcasts. Finding those people that are willing to have a conversation. Finding those people that are not just purely promoting something. Finding those people that will be open. Finding those people that are not scared of a question. They're not scared of a topic. I've had guests recently. I can feel their fear when a certain topic comes up, even if the topic is something that's near and dear to them. I guess I'm not surprised. Listen to my tone right now. I don't sound like the type of person that is a NPR eunuch who has lost all passion for the job. Again, I don't think of this as a job. You get my point. So I share all this with you because I want good conversations. I don't want just somebody that's, quote, famous. I want good conversations with smart people. And if you ever have a lead for me, if you have an idea, if you have a suggestion, hit me up, Michael@Covel.com. Also, new trend following video produced by yours truly, available right now. And if you drop me an email, again, at michael@covel.com, that is my first name, at my last name.com, I will send you that trend following video right now. In a world where a company like Google can release Gemini, and I'm sure everybody has seen how insanely woke Gemini is, the opportunity for thinking is tremendous. Because so many people, the so-called brightest people, the people with the most money, the biggest companies, have stopped thinking. AI is not thinking. AI is programming by dysfunctional humans. And if you're trusting AI, well, you're in good company because you're a dysfunctional human. Don't be a dysfunctional human. Be the person who thinks. Be the person who's ready for an opportunity. Be the person who wants to engage with me, not just because you want to pick some stupid ass point. Be the person who wants to engage with me because we can both learn and grow and do something better. Don't be a troll. And share with me your guest ideas. And share with me any ideas you have for me to have good conversations with great people. I'm always open. Until next week, have some fun. Damn it, have some fun.
I see a time when those awake will understand how to make money in up, down, and surprise markets. Whether new trader or experienced, college student or financial advisor, protecting against a crash or just trying to make a lot of money, trend following offers everyone an answer in uncertain times. To get started immediately, send me an email, michael@covel.com. I will send you the right trend following steps to take along with my free video. But if you want to buy and hold, trust the government and trust Wall Street, this is absolutely not for you.